Morning. Such a beautiful morning. Your brain and your gut are connected, and they each interact with each other. And when you build one, you build the other. I want you to understand how crucial the sunrise and the sunset are. So we know that the moon pulls the waves, right? Well, anything that's happening on the outside in our world is happening on the inside. And at the cellular level, when you get up in the morning and you allow that balanced light from the sunrise to hit your photoreceptor in your eyes, it causes the water to move in your cell. Think of it like the waves being pulled in. And then at nighttime, when you watch the sunset, it's like pushing the water back out of your cell and pushing it out. And when that happens, it helps set your leptin. Leptin, I think we'll go later into, not today, but we'll do a topic just on leptin. It's one of the most under talked about powerful hormones that there is. And you build a connection to leptin through following natural law and getting enough sleep and not overeating, stopping when you're full, and giving your hormones time to reset after you eat. Those are things that all build a strong leptin connection. The most powerful thing that you can do for leptin is to get your waves coming in the morning in your cells and your waves going out at night. Think of how powerful. Think of if you've ever stood on the ocean and experienced that power as the waves come in and go out. And that's what we want happening at the cellular level. And the sun does that when it rises and when it sets, because there's been several questions about this. So I'll hit it again, because I have a small team and there's no way we're doing our best to keep up with questions, but there's no way we can answer questions and re-clarify things. So you'll need to take accountability. And if there's something that you're needing to wrap your head around, go back and rewatch it again. The videos will come down around the end of the month. I don't have an exact date. It just depends on how our workflow goes. But go back and rewatch those, and maybe rewatch them when you're sitting and take some notes. We're not able to re-clarify that for people and keep our team tight and small and the cost of magnesium down and run sales and do all those things. So we want to create internally at the cellular level that wave of the water. And here's why. When we do that, we've talked about before, the vagus nerve. It is what connects one of the main nerves that connects our brain and our gut. And when we do that, we are nourishing vagus nerve with the very ultimate thing that it needs. So think of how you feel if you had everything you needed, like given to you, just right there. You'd feel supported. You had all the love you needed. You had all the support you needed. You would have that. Oh, I have a different sun lighting. I'll have to watch that this afternoon. So that's how vagus nerve feels when it gets the waves going. When you activate the waves at the cellular level. And vagus nerve is connected to your gut. And anytime you strengthen vagus nerve, you strengthen your body's ability to heal and seal your gut. And when you do that, your ability to uptake nutrition is increased. Your ability for strong thyroid function is increased. Your ability for better adrenal function is increased. Now, is it the only thing? No, but it's foundational. One of those foundational things that you have to do to create health. And a lot of times people will say, it's so expensive to be healthy. There are so many things that we as a society are not doing that don't cost us anything, any money going out. There is a time investment and there is a discipline investment to being up as the sun comes up and to being outside when the sun goes down. We're not meant to live indoors under artificial lights in front of an artificial screen, and we're paying the price. Now, this is where you can have your feet in both sides, because we see all the time the sun causes damage, stay out of the sun causes damage. And yes, it does if you're eating a standard American diet. And so when you clean up that diet and you don't put 32 teaspoons of sugar in it a day, like the average American does, and you don't do plastic inflammatory oils, then we don't have the problem. Now, we never want to burn our skin. That is damage. And so that's one of the reasons I love that DMinder app, because it's going to tell you what's happening at your location, your geographic location, because where you live, how much sun you get is going to be determined by that. And it also is going to be determined by where your vitamin D levels are at. Vitamin D is activated. Our body takes the cholesterol when we have that sunshine, and it activates and it converts into vitamin D if you have enough magnesium in your body. I'm getting tons of notifications. If you have enough magnesium in your body. So I'm not saying it's the only thing to create health. It's the most powerful foundational thing to create health. And I've gotten so many texts from people saying, my energy is up, my stress is down, I'm sleeping better, and I only walked 3 times in the sun last week in the morning. Imagine if you got consistent with that and did 7 times in the morning and then started adding the sunset slowly. Now, some people do better to jump all in. And sometimes that works better for me to jump all in. And other times I have to build it systematically. I don't know what will work for you. You need to know yourself, know how to set yourself up for success, and then set your systems up that way. So if 3 days a week walking in the sun has made in the morning in the sunrise and causing that wave to come in at the cellular level and nourish your vagus nerve and strengthen your gut function, it's not, I think gut cleanses are the number one thing that we can just spend thousands and thousands of dollars on, when in reality we don't have our basics set up. Now, I'm not against them, I've done them, but we can forget our basics and get pulled by marketing. And the basics are sunshine, hydration, sleep, sweat. Those are the basics we've got to have in place. And some of you are not at the point yet to walk for a full hour. That's okay. sit in the sunshine. My husband couldn't walk for a full hour either. Not going to happen on his new prosthetics. But he still can get the sunrise and the sunset because that's foundational for the water in your cells. Now, do you think if we walk and we're not hydrated that we're going to get the benefit? Do you see how important water is? Hydration. It's so important because we need that crash of that wave coming in powerfully in our cell, and we need it going out powerfully. And it's our job to be hydrated so that when we get that sunrise and sunset, we're doing everything we can to help our vagus nerve work. And when vagus nerve works, you have better gut function. And when gut function works, everything gets better. And your brain works better. You have more focus. That's what drives me, is focus. I am so driven by focus. Oh, I'm so driven by focus. I want to know. Oh, I didn't even see the comments. Good morning. Good morning. I want to know what drives you. What drives you? What keeps you going? For me, it's focus. It's having a body that can run and play with my grandkids, climb trees if they want to climb trees, get on my knees and play trains if they want to play trains. That's what drives me. It drives me so powerfully. And on the hard days, you need something that drives you. So find your why. Be articulate about it. Put it in your journal. Write it down. Say it out loud. Tell other people, this is what drives me. Because, can you hear that? That bird is really singing this morning. So, as you define your why, and as you connect to it deeply, that will get you through the hard days when you feel like you're not getting better, because that can stop us from strengthening our gut. The days that we feel like I did all of these things, but I'm not feeling better, those days will happen, especially in the beginning. They will happen more often than the days you feel good happen. And being connected to your why will push you to following through if you understand what's happening in your body. Understanding that wave at the cellular level, and the sunrise brings it in, and the sun setting pushes it out in a hydrated, magnesium-rich body. It's another reason. Oh, Sherry, I do too. I do too. That one I just had to stop and acknowledge. It's another reason why I'm so, for me, against synthetic nutrition. Because look where synthetic calcium got us. An overcalcified body that was low in magnesium. Because we do need calcium from food. We can get calcium from food when we have enough magnesium. It was so interesting. I was on a webinar last week with a doctor who was really an out-of-the-box thinker. And then he sold this line of supplements that he private labels that I know where he gets them from, and they're just synthetic garbage. And I hopefully came across very politely and said, help me understand why you're so anti-synthetic calcium, but you're so okay with all of these other synthetic nutrients. And this was a webinar that had a load of, quote, practitioners. And he said, oh, profit chain. Now, there's nothing wrong with being in business and creating profit. I'm not against that. I do think you need to evaluate how you're making that profit. Is it at the expense of someone else? At least is my value. And the synthetic calcium and the fortified nutrients that are in our foods here in the United States are causing disease. And it's like it didn't happen for a long time. It very slowly built up. And now we're experiencing so many diseases that partly are because of that synthetic nutrition. So why, oh why, would we go buy synthetic nutrition in our multivitamin if we don't want it in our food? That just is common sense. Just common sense. You don't need a degree. That's just common sense. And so all of that calcium made the inside brittle. Think of cement. When you add calcium, calcifies it, makes it hard. We want our veins to be flexible. We want our bones to be strong and to be flexible. And to uptake calcium from our food, we need magnesium. Now, it's not the only nutrient that we need, but my focus is to help you build a strong foundation. And that foundation, nutrient-wise, starts with magnesium. And we can't get it from our foods anymore. Our soils, we've not treated our soils well. And because of that, the magnesium is bound in that soil and the uptake is not there. I said on one of my lives, I said, the magnesium's not there. And my husband, who's a soil expert, got on me, he just said, Kristen, the magnesium's there, it's just bound. It can't, because of the overuse of synthetic fertilizers, the plants can't uptake it. So just like we need to be rebalanced, our soils need to be rebalanced. I'm not begging in a desperate way, but I really want him to come on and do a preparing soils, because you can do, like I live in a 700 square foot house here in the Central California coast. House prices are extremely expensive here. We didn't want to be enslaved by a massive debt. And so we went where we could pay cash. So it's 700 square feet. It's small with not a lot of yard space. And we buy big wine barrels that they cut in half. And that's where we grow vegetables. So you don't even have to have, quote, the typical garden. You can get creative, and maybe it's just herbs growing in your windowsill if you're in an apartment. Or maybe you're like me and you have a little teeny bit of outside space and you get some big containers and grow plants in there. They both have soil, and making sure it's a good, healthy soil will ensure the uptake of nutrients from the soil to that plant that you're putting in your body. 66% of our energy, though, comes from the sun. You can't live inside and have optimal health. That's what I want. I want optimal health. I want to run and not have weariness take me over. I want to play and not say, oh, I'm done, I'm so tired. I want that for my body. And my goal is constant, gradual improvement. And the path to creating health is not linear. You don't go like this. If I can get you to understand that you will have backslides, and if you celebrate the backslides, literally, I know it sounds crazy, just try it. Find something about the backslides that you're really grateful about. You'll move forward more quickly and more easily and more powerfully. Creating health is not linear. You do need some basics. You need sunshine in the morning. You need sunshine at night. You need, like right now, I didn't check the tides again, and the tide is really high and really strong today. So that's why I'm not walking the ocean right now. I came up a street, I think it's called Ocean Boulevard, because it was too powerful. You wouldn't have been able to hear me. And there wasn't enough room for me to walk. The tide was so high in a lot of places. That's the kind of power we need to create in ourselves. And you do that with water, the movement, mineral, magnesium, and morning and evening sunshine. That's the base. We got to get those in place. They're powerful when you let Mother Nature do its thing. They're so powerful. And remember, you might start walking and 2 weeks in feel worse. You're healing. Allow it to happen. Allow that healing to happen. Healing is not linear. And if, let's see, where am I going to go? Oh, head down this way. And if you are in what I call good girl syndrome, that will be really hard for you. Good girl syndrome is connected. Oh, I can smell a lot of marijuana. Usually can't going by the hotels. Okay. Good girl energy is you grew up with the belief that you worked and worked and worked and then you deserved it. So for example, you got an ice cream after your jobs were done, or you couldn't go out and play until after your jobs were done. So you did the work and then you deserved what happened after. That's part of good girl energy. There's some more parts to it too, but that's part of it. And if you're buying into good girl energy, the non-linear pathway of healing will be very hard for you because you're used to doing the things and then deserving it. And that's not how the journey of health happens. 20 years. I've been doing this 20 years. And it's never been experienced by anyone that I've ever interacted with in 20 years of being focused on it. So that's one of the reasons why you give up after you're done, because you've done these things, therefore I deserve these things. That's good girl energy. Let it go. Right now. Let it go. It's not serving you. It's not how life works. It's a lie that you bought into as a child. It feels really true to you, but I'm here to physically remind you it's not true. Don't give up on the hard days. Give your body a wave crash. A wave crash in the morning from the sunrise, a wave crash in the evening from the sunset, and strengthen that brain-gut axis. And when you do that, your gut will start to heal and you will uptake more nutrients than you ever have, because you have given vagus nerve the number one thing that it needs: a strong circadian rhythm to be toned. And as that starts to happen, I see a natural shift toward tightening up your bedtime routine, because the more natural laws that we break, the less our brain gut access can stay connected, the less it can happen. If you're staying up late, healing is diminished, because that vagus nerve that connects your brain to your gut, one of them that connects your brain to your gut, is weakened by a weak circadian rhythm. Sunrise, sunset. Sunrise, sunset. In fact, that's kind of one of my little mantras. Oh, I know where I'll go. I'll go out to the end of the pier. Oh, that'll be so good. Okay, I'll go out to the end of the pier. Sunrise, sunset. Sunrise, sunset. It's pretty powerful stuff when you understand what it's doing for your body. Now, I got more consistent. Fall and winter 2020, I really played the victim to everything that was happening. And I was in my house too much, sitting on the couch too much. Menopause hit strong, and I lost my circadian rhythm, and my health took the toll on my health. And there has been some compromise as I've rededicated myself to building back that circadian rhythm where I was at. And so, for example, last night I turned to my husband and I said, I can tell that you've got a couple projects going that you're finishing up. I need to get to bed now for optimal health. So we said our good nights and I went to bed, where typically we would do that together. So there are compromises. And I'm not saying that happens every night, but there are compromises that have to happen as you bring more things in. And you have to determine if that compromise is balance for you. It was for him and I yesterday because we were very connected. We'd had a very good day together. And so it was the perfect balance. It was a really good balance. Did you hear that word I just used? I'm going to let that go. It was a really good balance for us. That balance is determined day by day. You've got this. You can do it. You can so do this. It's not going to happen all overnight. It didn't take one day of fall 2020 to get me where I got to. It built up slowly, and I bet you're the same way. And so we're just going to chink it just little bit by little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. And we're going to keep chanting sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. I am strengthening cranial nerve number 10 for stronger brain function and better gut function. Can you hear those waves? They are strong today. I am creating power at the cellular level with sunrise and sunset. I am capable of following through. I am choosing to create moments that I create the power of that wave in my body, in my cell. Okay, so I'm almost to the end of the pier. This is the Cayucas Pier. We're so lucky to have a pier so close to us. Almost at the end. I'll get to the end and we'll finish our call with some deep breathing. And I want you just to think in your mind, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. That's what creates health. That's what creates the wave in your cell. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. That's what you need. So when we get out here, you're going to match your internal rhythm to the sounds that you hear and the waves. I'm not sure at the end of the pier if you'll see them moving. They're more crashing at that end. Oh, it maybe would have been better to do it at that end. I think you'll still hear them though. This is one of my favorite spots at the end of the pier. And in the mornings, I've got it all to myself. So if you got that going in your head, sunrise, sunset, sunrise. Oh, while we're getting there, today is the last day of the magnesium sale. The emails that I get on Tuesday that will say, I didn't know about the sale. I will lovingly, politely draw the boundary. The sale is over. We do not extend it. We are a small business, and the man hours that it takes to change everything and do that for you, it has gone on for 12 days. I've lost a lot of email subscribers because I've sent 3 emails about it, where normally I send 1. I've sent emails. I've been on social media. It ends today. It is the last day, and you will not see these prices again because the next batch coming in, oh, you might not be able to hear it out here. You'll have to listen very quietly for it. So if you want that 64-ounce magnesium jug or cream or some of the whole food supplements that we've talked about, today's the day. Today. Not tomorrow, today. livingthegoodlifenaturally.com. And if you're interested in becoming a part of our texting group, not a lot of texts go out on it. Some you can cancel at any time by sending in the text stop or cancel. It tells you. A lot of people are on that because they're excited for me to share some magnesium. And you can text 435-213-9048. Text Good Life to that number. And then you have to fill out a paperwork that tells us your first and last name. Friends know each other's names, and that's a boundary I set up to protect myself from trolls, so that there's a first and a last name for who that person is on that texting list. So sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. We're just going to have a minute of quiet wherever you're at, whether you're driving, whether you're at work, whether you're out walking, whether you're just sitting listening to this. I want you to take a minute and really focus on your breathing. And I'm going to time it. Ready, go. Sunrise, sunset. Sunrise, sunset. We're creating power at the cellular level with the ultimate energy of the sun. That's what creates health. We're hydrated. We have magnesium-rich bodies. Just that clears up so many problems. Just that. Now, most people need some more things because we've been in a state of disease for longer than we've been in a state of health for some of us. We are moving forward. We are not giving up. We know that it's simple to create power at the cellular level. Maybe you can't walk the full hour. That's okay. Walk what you can. Maybe you can't walk at all. Sit in a chair. Maybe you can't get out of bed. Open the curtains, let the sun. Open the window, open the curtains, let the sun hit your face. You can take a baby step. You're creative. I know you are. I know you are. You've got this. Sunrise, sunset. Sunrise, sunset. Bye.